come to point blank. Here, we interrogate the public narrative, put them to perspective, and give it clarity of thought. I want us to look at this issue. Raila has been putting a demand, and if you look at the irreducible minimums, I listened to the interview by the KTN, that open the server so that Kenyans can know the legitimate winner of the last general elections, and everything else should start from there. And I know that the son of Adonijah knows very well that that is something that probably William Ruto would not even want to think about. Now, some political pundits have argued that if everything is fine, if opening the server would actually be a solution and it will not cause any fracas, then that would have been done now. Because the intention is to finish Raila from the population, to finish the Azimio hype from the population. Now, if someone knew very well that if I open the server and the population happens to know what exactly is even in that server, that will be the end of my election was stolen. But the question here is, why? In fact, I was just having a pedestrian argument. If it can solve the whole mess, if it is a solution, and it will not cost us, it is not going to cost us even a shilling to open that server, then why not? If indeed that server is closed. This is a question that even those who call themselves the learned have been dodging by saying election is over. The election is over. Every demand that Raila has put of those irreducible demands, minimums, one that has been ignored by the who's and the who's is the question of server. I know that when the moment someone talks about the server, the question here is, if you are to open it and find out that there is a disparity between what Kenyans already know or what Kenyans were told and what probably is recorded there, what is the effect? I know that when you can guess, your guess is as good as mine. But then, if indeed there is no problem, if there is a problem, of course you won't open it. But knowing that if I open it and there is disparity, it can cause this, can't you own up and say, okay, fine, we can't open it, we don't have that. I don't know that it even exists. I don't know that server is normally in an imaginary one, or it exists. But why don't you then listen to the voices of the population? Why don't you pick that which you can do? For example, the cost of living, the cost of unga you can address. You can address the cost of unga. Ruto kitaka unga rudi 70 anaweza. You can. You subsidize. Leave all these billions you are putting into different, some other secondary projects, and put those billions in maize. You will feed this country. I can tell you, if Ruto wants to. You can. So, my route to opening that server, I know many people have been asking which route. To me, I'm not a lawyer, but I was trying to sample. I listened to Ken Mijungu saying that President William Ruto, just in his capacity as the president and under the public interest, can just request the IBC to open the servers under public interest. For him, it's a situation where something has happened and the public is so interested into it, and you want to make sure that you finish the discussion, or that it comes to an end. The president can call. I don't know. Look, the president and Raila Odinga, they can't reach a consensus and constitute a commission of inquiry over the last general election that will be formed by involving all the parties, all the stakeholders, and that will guide the process of and even recommendations on the outcome of that opening server. You know, if server is to be opened, so who is to receive that report? Is the report going to the Supreme Court, or is it taken back to that commission inquiry? Is it going to Parliament so that it debates and it forms the basis of other forward? I am saying this. We might actually look at it and comfortably, because we want to impress President William Ruto. Those who want to impress President William Ruto would want this question of the server not to be at the table. But for me, I'm looking at it in a different way. It will actually yield a reform call, as in for now, we create even guide policy on electoral management. We know we are in this country. The question of server did not start yesterday. It started in 2017. And I remember in 2017, William Tunga throwing away Raila's petition in 2013. But in 2017, one of the few contentious reasons why Maraga even threw away that victory, Uhuru Kenyatta victory, was on the question of even the server. Despite of giving multiple court orders, it was never effected. So we've had a history on when it comes to that question of servers, they've always been having a problem. And we'll be ignoring it now, but in future, in subsequent elections, even after Raila is gone, we might catch up with this reality. You know, we may look at it now as far as Raila, but for me, I'm like, we need to wait, we need to think first and say, wait. Is there anything good we can draw from this discussion about open the server? You know? And this moment presents the ideal opportunity to rethink the position on the server and look at it, instead of looking at it as if Raila anataka kufungua the server aone ni kama lishinde ama kuwe hivi, then people turn. But then it will be an opportunity to have a discussion about election petition in relation to ICT. In the beautiful game of football, there is 5 referees. 4, is it 4? Center referee, 2 linemen on both sides of the pitch, and a VAR, video assistant referee. Something can happen, someone can have a bad tackle on an opponent in the field, and the referees in the middle of the game can review, and when things are not, when they find like it's not still satisfactory, you see the center referee going to the video assistant, to that video assistant referee to look what exactly happened. Then he will have a closer look at it and can even come and review his final decision. Better still, even after an incident has happened, the FA can always sit again even after some time, and a ban is issued after the game had been played without altering the results. So if the scare is about altering the results, then why don't we have a TOR or a TOE, terms of engagement, terms of reference, so that it helps us to form a basis of what is the next. If we find out that, okay, William Ruto won fairly, but here, there's some disparities, we already raise questions. In this issue of server, there is a problem. So that moving forward, we are working towards some solution, some consensus. The question that everyone else is asking, and I'm asking this for Wanjiku, if the question of opening the server, if the server can be opened today and it can solve the whole problem, then why don't you just go there? Why don't you ask the IBC, bring the representatives, let the Azimio bring the representatives, let the other parties that participated in that election, political parties, liaison committee, maybe some Supreme Court, UDA, let's put everyone, go through, lay everything bare without, remove all the passwords. So kila mtu aprintie yake, the media, live stream it. This is what it was. Live stream it, watu waone. Maliza. Everyone else, the story will be done. I think we need to, and that is why I might say that maybe the ghosts of 2017 elections can emerge. Can those ghosts emerge? You know, I want to believe what really happened, no one really knows. But then the foreign involvement is a big challenge in our election. We need to appreciate that. It's a big challenge. If Raila has been talking about where these servers are, IBC has never made any clarifications, whether we have a server in industrial area or where, or anniversary task. They've never made any clarification on what is happening. And the way Raila is talking, he seems to be, is being fed with a lot of intel as far as this question of server is concerned. I know there are those who have always argued that what Raila said about the server question was just to trigger discussion about what it is. But to address this matter, I think it's not, we are not going to solve a solution, we're not going to get a solution. If you're going to solve it, look at it as just a political question. Whenever, even though it can be a political question, because it borders on legitimacy, but it's also a question that will help us moving forward tomorrow, when even Raila Odinga is not even the candidate. Even the people that are celebrating that let's not open it will be the candidate at that time. In 2032, Raila will not be the candidate. 2037, Raila will not, maybe I'm going to be the candidate. So the young people and the young politicians that are now saying, let's go, let's move on. Are we going to have an election of just let's move on? While there are contentious issues. Kenyans might actually find their shocker, and maybe, probably, I can tell you, it will never be opened. And I'm only asking, if that is where there is a solution, then why don't we do it? That's what we should do. If that is going to give us the solution. If the problem is not the cost of living, we can't solve, it's above us. It's a problem that is a global problem. Then we have a simple one of opening the server and showing Kenya. I want to live free and fair, as you say. Then just open it. The story ends. The story ends there. I even listened to some protesters saying, ukifungua server tuone tulishindwa, tutaachana na hii story. That will be it. So, in fact, those who want to finish Raila, the best way to finish Raila is to open that server. But if they are meandering, not. If you still don't open and still holds on it, Kenyans are buying. Because if there is something they have never seen is that server. They don't have an idea. I can tell you people in the village, those who may not be knowledgeable enough, they just think that server is some kind of a dome. Mali votes ziliweka so inafunguliwa tu wanaona this is what is it. So it's an image that has been created in people's mind. That image has been created that when you open that server, we're going to see what it is, and the story ends there. So it's what it is, and Raila has managed to clip it. You know, William Ruto has gone to the public, and instead of saying about the whole server, he's never faced the server question. Just saying it was open during the election, during the voting, just trying to create a public narrative. But are we dealing with some secrecy? Why don't we solve it? If there is the problem, why don't we open it and the story ends there? That's my word.